Call this special meeting of the Common Council to order. Will you please rise for the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're gathered here tonight for the State of the City address. I'll try to keep it brief. President Pro Tem Pearson, Clerk Treasurer Aldrich, Common Council, and fellow citizens, it is an honor to stand here before you tonight and discuss the state of our city and the work we will do this year to make life better for our citizens. In preparing for this address, I looked at those of the former and current governors, Daniels, Pence, Holcomb, President Trump, and other mayors in nearby municipalities to understand the content and specificity expected from me with this speech. Understandably, there are some differences, but amazingly, there are a multitude of similarities in the issues facing each unit of government during the same and different time periods. Generally, however, the bulk of this address is about the successes of governmental units in tackling issues and spelling out how the administration will strive to see continued success. Before we get to the successes of our community from 2017, our plans for success in the future, it should be noted that 2017 was a year that Delphi will not forget. On February 13th and 14th, we're all stricken by the anger, frustration, fear, sadness, and confusion surrounding the deaths of Abby Williams and Liberty German. In that moment, the feel of this community changed. The tension and grief in the air was palpable, and we trudged through those tasks which previously seemed cumbersome and now seem so menial in the grand scheme. A dark cloud hung over us. But in the weeks and months and year that followed, the people of this community, this city, reminded us that no matter what, we were in this together. The citizens of this community showed not only each other, but the entire world, how Delphi can rally around each other to support their neighbors, first responders and law enforcement officers, and the families impacted by this tragedy, and how good will always trump evil. In the aftermath, we were reminded of why we took up public service: to serve, to protect, to do what we can within our power to improve the lives of those around us, those who come together as strangers, bound by the overwhelming sense of community, to lift up one another. It is in that duty to others we serve, and while what the government of Delphi has done in 2017 is not earth-shattering, we are taking the steps to improve the lives of those around us. 2017 was marked by the completion of multiple projects within the city of Delphi. A new fire station across the street in downtown Delphi, which allows for the quickest deployment to all areas of the 3 townships it covers. It boasts a training space for our volunteer firefighters to host local and countywide training sessions. South and west facades incorporate brickwork designed to remain appealing to the downtown, and at $1,018,000 with any additionals taken from appropriated line items. Chief Sterrett in the fire territory did a great job of producing an economically feasible building. The floodgate project was closed out in 2017, a project necessitated, I was having trouble with that, by changes in federal regulations regarding levies. OCRA first announced awarding the city of Delphi funds for the improvements back in 2011. With the completion of the project, areas of the city are less prone to flooding events, and drainage has improved on the west end of the city. The city of Delphi also invested in its infrastructure in 2017, leveraging funds from the Main Street relinquishment and Lowit special distribution against those from community crossing funds. The city of Delphi was able to repair downtown alleys, the ends of Market and Franklin Streets, conduct overlays on Riley Road and Armory Road, and install storm drains, sidewalk, and repair East Main Street. By doing those projects with the funds provided by the state, we were able to encumber money from 2017 to act as our match for 2018 community crossings projects. The stellar closeout ceremony was held in 2017. Although we're still working on phase 2 of the owner-occupied rehabilitation grant through Stellar, we have seen not only the aesthetic changes to our downtown since the completion of Stellar, but we've also seen a change in the feel of our downtown. Growing up in this city, it was rare to see vehicles parked downtown after 5 p.m. Now it's not uncommon to not be able to find a parking spot when you go downtown, whether it's in the week or weekend. We have seen new businesses downtown, and possibly more importantly, an increased vibrancy downtown. There's life on our streets and an air of excitement downtown. We saw what partnerships in the community can do, as the relationship between the Carroll County Senior and Family Services and the City of Delphi spawned the construction and fundraising for the Delphi Community Center, which started in 2017 and is expected to be completed soon.
Hopefully.
Last year, we saw NDOT repair US 421 through town, and the water department took advantage of that. They replaced some old piping from Illinois to Market Street while that was open to help save some cost. At the same time, we saw the completion of sewer improvements near Albecues and on Monroe Street, and those sewer improvements spurred the installation of curb and gutter and new storm lines in that area. During that time, our general fund financial position was one of the best in the state. And a report by the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance, comparison is made of all the municipalities within the state of Indiana, looking at our reserves compared to our annual budgets. The city of Delphi ranked 35th of the 556 municipalities listed. Those are cities and towns. It ranked first out of 116 cities on that list. I was wondering, I always thought there was 110 cities, this is off script, but on that list it had 116 as civic city. In Frankfurt's 2018 State of the City address, Mayor McBarnes noted their percentage was at 33 1/3%, and that most financial experts believe it's good policy to maintain cash reserves at a minimum of 30%. We were somewhere around 206%. The City of Delphi, with an annual budget in 2018, which was $11.6 million less than Frankfurt's, had more than $1.6 million in reserves than the City of Frankfurt. We're spending almost $11.5 million less a year, and we have $1.6 million more in the bank than they do. That's a pretty good position to be in. In addition to the sound financial state of the City of Delphi as it relates to non-utility funds, we are blessed to have those quality of place improvements such as a vibrant and rehabilitated downtown, destinations in the Opera House and Canal, and miles of trails which cities and towns across the state are attempting to emulate so they too can set their cities apart. But there are still improvements to be made. Some are specific to Delphi, while others are issues which plague our state, if not our entire nation. In both the 2017 and 2018 State of the State address, Governor Holcomb noted the need to develop 21st century skilled and ready workforce. He stated in January of this year that there are 85,000 jobs in Indiana unfilled because employers can't find the people equipped with the skills they need. Data from the Indiana Department of Workforce Development shows at the end of February of this year, Carroll County had a 3.8% unemployment rate. As a community, we must continue to encourage our young people, whether it's by teaching, coaching, working alongside them in schools, churches, or community groups. Delphi has been a place where young people have learned by watching leaders lead by example. We must continue to engage our youth to ensure they have the critical thinking, leadership, and soft skills to succeed in the workforce. Opioids continue to be a threat to our community. President Trump and Governor Holcomb both addressed these in their speeches. While I can't remember of any instances of heroin in 2016, I know of at least 2 instances of heroin overdoses within city limits last year. There have been at least 2 within the city this year. I'm sure you've seen the couple that was out in the county about a month or so ago, which overdosed. I went to school with 3 of the 6 people that have been victims of overdose. These people have families and friends in our communities. They're very much a part of who we are. The City of Delphi and Delphi Public Library recently held a panel on opioids with representatives from a wide cross-section of those working on prevention, enforcement, and treatment in the opioid crisis. It was a good step to provide some information and help reduce the stigma of opioids to encourage users to get help, but there is much left to do. The City of Delphi Police Department, working together with the help of other local law enforcement agencies, including the Carroll County Sheriff's Department with their K-9 units, have continued to conduct traffic stops leading to seizures of illegal drugs and have ramped up patrols of apartment complexes within the city. Enforcement is only one piece of the puzzle, but one which we need to continue to exercise while other groups within the community work on prevention and treatment. Limited housing stock is another driver in the local economy, which the City of Delphi has sought to address since at least 1994. In the 1994 strategic plan, it states by July 1, 1994, the steering committee will appoint a 5-person committee to bring together landlords, landowners, developers, and agents of the municipal, state, and federal governments to study needs and to assure land availability for new development. With a fairly recent report from the IU Kelly School of Business, which predicts that Carroll County's population will decrease from 20,155 in 2010 to 16,959 in 2050. That's based off of mortality rates, fertility rates, and migration patterns of people into and out of the community. I believe it was over 30 years, but it's been a couple weeks since I've looked at that website. With those predictions, we must act quickly to buck the trend. Improvements to the quality of the place have ignited a vibrancy in this community. We must work with local property owners and residential developers to increase available housing within our community. There's approximately $200,000 in 2018 appropriated funds that can be used to incentivize residential development by assisting in engineering and road infrastructure. Conversations with landowners and developers have occurred but need to be reignited. An emphasis of this year will be determining the future plans of the water and sewer utilities. While other municipalities around the state are making or preparing to make upgrades for their water and sewer systems to accommodate and attract industrial expansion, we are not afforded the opportunity to expand as easily, especially with the water department. We must look at maintaining our current water towers and assessing as a first priority how to replace our current capacity, which has seen a continual decrease in the static water level, projected to lead to 2 of our largest producing wells breaking suction in the next few years. Contractors will be working on hooking well 3 into the system quickly, but the hydrogen sulfide concentration of the water at well 3 makes the water malodorous, and we anticipate using that well as the last resort. A 24-hour pump test has recently been completed on well 7, and its viability for future use should be known soon. There will be a considerable amount of discussion about if and or when we plan for expanding the capacities of both water and wastewater utilities. There are a number of variables to weigh. The impact on the ratepayer if we expand, our confidence in the future of source water, our relative competitiveness of utility rates with other municipalities vying for residential, commercial, and industrial prospects, and the burden which may be shifted from residential ratepayers to new industry. I was looking at this today. Umball, the financial analysis firm for the city of Delphi, estimated that water revenues total approximately $1 million annually. $685,000 of that they estimate from IPC. The other $315,000 is from all other utility customers within the city. And looking, I pulled a report this morning. The water department itself spent approximately $348,000 on salaries and employee benefits in 2017. So just salaries and employee benefits, which went beyond what all other utility customers within the city paid or is estimated to have paid. We must analyze increases in overhead costs from expansion related to increased revenue generation from new sources to fully understand the impact expansion will have on our community. As citizens of Delphi, and quoting Governor Holcomb, Hoosiers have been blessed with a character that more often than not leads us to solve problems rather than to assign blame and to work in common cause rather than tear each other down. Now more than ever, it's time for us to work together. The city of Delphi is poised to take advantage of the opportunities that so many have worked so hard to achieve. We will continue to leverage grant dollars to maintain roads and streets to assure costly future repairs can be avoided. We will continue to enforce statutes to decrease the number of drugs in the community. We will continue to volunteer and work together as a community to raise each other up because we know we are strong and good, but we are never stronger than when we work together. There is no place I would rather be than surrounded by the people of this community. I look forward to continuing to work alongside you to serve the citizens of our great city. God bless you all, and may God continue to bless our great city. That's all I've got for the State of the City address. I don't know if there's anything, President Pro Tem.
I have nothing. Does anyone on the council have comments or concerns?
Hearing that, I take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, thank you.